Chris Wallace, welcome back to Brian and the Judge.
Hey, guys.
Chris, last week was Good Friday, and I had a lot of religious commitments. And while I was sitting in a small 150-year-old Catholic church in Newton, New Jersey, I heard some thunderbolts over New York City.
I was wondering where you were going there.
What did I miss?
Well, I was going to say, what was good about last Good Friday? But anyway, listen, it was fine. It was interesting. I have to tell you, Brian, I know you guys don't like to reference the other show too much, but obviously I think most people know we had a dust-up on Fox and Friends last week. I think you guys, I know I'm going to regret saying this, I thought you let me off a little too lightly today.
So did I. That's the first thing I said to Brian. Was that rehearsed? Because Chris came off without even a bruise.
What was that about? Why were you so nice to me?
Well, you know what? Number one, I am not mad. I like real conversation. I did tell you the truth. I thought it was real, but I also thought you were wrong because I know I had the same where I stood on the matter. And I was taking where I stood with the Barack Obama situation and the Reverend Wright situation, whatever the topic was last week. I happen to, in this case, disagree with Steve and Gretchen on that to the point where I actually playfully got up and walked out. People misinterpreted that, and that ended up being the lead story on MSNBC.
I know. I had to laugh when I saw that because those of us, obviously, who watch the show a lot know that you and Ducey walk, if you say it's Tuesday and it's Wednesday, you get up and walk out. So the idea that this was some huge political statement on your part, I thought,
and the funny thing is, Chris, that both Brian and I loved Barack Obama's speech, and we spent a week praising it, and we got a lot of heat from a lot of people that listen to this show and that we work with in this building,
and that's
for steadfastly defending Barack Obama and the immature way he addressed this volatile issue.
But you still haven't answered my question, Brian, which is why did I get off so easy today?
All right. To be totally candid, I think that a lot of people feel we should have it go away, that people were very uncomfortable with us on the same team fighting each other.
Wait a minute. Go away all day, you guys, today. I mean, you at 8 o'clock, Chris Wallace, the moment you've been waiting for. I mean, you promoted it all morning.
No, Chris, I'll tell you.
It's called ratings, Chris.
No. I'll have to, again, I'm going to tell you, Chris, I said it twice. Both times came out of my, Steve said it once, I said it twice, so 3 times. So you were in the prompter because we always promo you coming on.
Right.
Always. Yeah. Because you are a ratings getter for us. No one can believe a man of your credibility does our show every week, even though it's a plug. So I brought it up, and a lot of people are right. Chris Wallace is coming. Yeah, Chris Wallace is coming on, and we just casually would just say, yeah, we haven't talked to him in a week. Wonder what he's been doing or whatever we said. But again, that wasn't all morning.
Well, in any case, I'm very happy it's over.
Right.
It goes back to normal.
Right.
And we're very happy you're here. And I want to ask you this. Lanny Davis, no surprise, says, and Jamie Rubin told us earlier in the week, oh, come on, anybody can make a mistake. What's the inside the Beltway take on Hillary and Bosnia?
Well, look, the thing is, let me just back up just a second on this. The worst thing in politics is when you confirm people's worst fears about you. Politicians have raps against them, things that people think, or vulnerabilities. With John McCain, is he too old? With Dan Quayle, was he a dope? So that, for instance, if Barack Obama misspelled potato, it wouldn't be as big a deal as it was with Dan Quayle because people don't think that, are pretty convinced that Obama is smart. Well, one of the questions with the Clintons is their trustworthiness, their honesty, their candor. And, I don't know how to describe what went on with Bosnia other than say it's a Whopper. She just told this Whopper. We were just talking about how we're going to handle it on Fox News Sunday. The disconnect between her language and the specificity with which she talks about, running off the plane and the sniper shots and the reality of the video where you see that she and her daughter are just sauntering around the tarmac, and they go up to this 8-year-old girl and she gets flowers. It is astonishing. As again, I think what makes it worst is that people have this doubt about her to begin with, and it seems to confirm their worst doubts. Now, is it a killer? Does it mean she can't win the election? No. but it's harmful.
And put the name Sinbad into the eye of the storm of the 2008 election. I never thought that would happen.
No, that's right. Sinbad is not somebody we figured, maybe Iraq, a Maliki, not Sinbad.
He's now the standard of what happened versus what didn't.
And here's the factor that I'm foolishly, I cannot believe I didn't pick up on. The military's insulted by it because they're responsible for the security. If I was responsible for the First Lady's security and she had to run for her life on the tarmac at a U.S. military base, my career would be destroyed. I'd be humiliated, and the person in charge is exactly that.
The whole thing is such a whopper, such a self-aggrandizing twisting of the truth. And look, do I think it's disqualifying? No, but it does raise a legitimate question about her, just like Wright's pastor raises a question about, or rather Obama's pastor, Reverend Wright, raises a question about him.
Chris, before we talk to you about who you're going to have on Sunday, Al Gore, can he, with a single statement at a single press conference, decide who's going to be the nominee?
Absolutely not. I mean, this idea that anybody can put this thing out, that Nancy Pelosi or
who said it?
Dean
Klein.
Right. Joe Klein of New York Magazine, Time Magazine, whoever he writes for these days, said that Gore can put his thumb on the scale and it's over with, either side he puts his thumb on. You disagree?
Absolutely. Look, these guys have been fighting their guts out for a year and a half. They've raised $200 million each. First of all, the Clintons and the Gores don't get along that well. Do you think if Al Gore said, you know what, Barack Obama's the guy, that Hillary Clinton is going to put her hands up and say, well, Al Gore said it? I mean, there's not a chance in the world.
No, but he could lead a march, a Bill Richardson-like march toward Barack of elected superdelegates.
I'm not even convinced of that. I mean, I don't know that Al Gore has that kind of clout in the party. Joe Klein knows a lot about politics, but I don't agree.
All right. He is Chris Wallace. Chris, who do you got this weekend?
We're going to be talking about Iraq, because obviously and unfortunately there's been a real uptick in the violence there. So we're going to talk about that with Lindsey Graham and Jack Reed, a Democratic senator from Rhode Island. We'll talk politics, and we'll also talk, because I know that you're a big baseball fan like I am, Brian, for you. We're going to be talking to the president of the Washington Nationals, and they are unveiling their new stadium Sunday night.
Right, yeah, it was long waiting, and I think it was all paid for privately, correct?
No, it was paid for mostly by the government.
Well, Brian, it's Washington, D.C. Nothing's paid for privately except for Chris's salary.
And know what I'm just waiting for?
What?
Brian, I got tickets to the game. You and the judge are going to be in D.C. such and such date. Why don't we go over?
I think that might be coming.
From Wallace?
Because you know what I want more than anything else? To hang out with you, Brian. I mean, I think we need more personal time.
Can you, Joey, did you record that?
He missed it.
Oh, we got it.
All right. Chris Wallace, host of Fox News Sunday. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
See you guys.
We'll watch you on Sunday.
The real world and you meet here. It's Brian and the Judge.